guess it was, what, 2 or 3 weeks ago now, Mark and I attended your one of the Wisdom of Q events.
You missed the second.
You missed the second one.
It was fun too.
Yeah. Just kind of give us a recap of what that event was, how it went, if you've seen any
Sure.
results from that.
Yeah, we've actually seen buyers. We can actually state that there have been buyers that came through because of the Wisdom of Q event that would not have come and been a potential buyer had we not had these two events. So essentially what it was is that we partnered with YoChicago, and we had a major campaign that we had developed and started launching in early first quarter, which is the Wisdom of Q. And one of the things that we realized when we were talking to our homeowners and prospects and other people within the Chicago market about real estate is that people got very tired of hearing the same old builder story with trying to cut prices and do checkerboard pricing, meaning you don't know what's actually happening in the building when it comes time to purchase your home. You don't know if your neighbor got something less. So people started feeling a little bit, we were hearing from prospects how they were glad to see that we weren't that type of developer using those types of business practices. Whereas for Belgravia Group, what we do is we price everything the way it should be priced, the value of the home based off of what we feel as though it should be valued at, and then our pricing only increases. So we have this price guarantee that helps to alleviate, because we saw that things were kind of shifting down, that if home prices were to be dropped at 565 Quincy, which they have not, but if they were to have been dropped by the time they close, if that home was valued at at an amount less, they would actually be paid back from us as a developer to that pricing, so that they never actually felt any type of depreciation. And I think that a lot of people really gravitated towards that. So when we partnered with Time Out Chicago, we first internally sent out a message to all of our prospects and to all the buyers, and we anticipated about 250 to come from that. But then when we did the partnership with Time Out, we sent out the entire e-blast, and we ended up getting about 600 RSVPs, 249 of which were from our own internal, which is rather nice. So we realized very quickly, like, wow, this is something that people really want to see right now in the market. They want to know more about how the Wisdom of Q works in relationship to condos and lofts. And so we ended up having two parties so that they could experience what that wisdom was about. So the wisdom essentially was, because buyers right now are trying to make sure that every dollar that they make counts in their spending, we wanted to emphasize that with the power of local, buying locally, shopping locally, dining locally, living locally, doing things from within your neighborhood sphere, and then making the most of that so that your dollars aren't being spent frivolously. And again, that's something that people really gravitated to. So we were very successful.
565 Quincy is a pretty unique development in that it's got both a loft and a construction component. What are people gravitating towards more right now?
I think that I don't think that they're gravitating more on one versus the other. I think that because of the way that the sales team handles the sales process, there really are, the sales team is trained very well to not talk about, essentially the box. They want to find out the lifestyle. They want to find out, like, what does it mean to live in a loft home? What is it versus what does it mean living in a new construction condo type of home? So with that being in mind, and they really spend a lot of time trying to make sure that they understand the wants and the needs, and then they help guide the prospect to the right home based off of that. So it's really hard to say that, oh, lofts are just going, out the door, everybody loves them, versus the condos. It's really, it's always been about the prospect and figuring out what their wants and needs are. So it's kind of, lofts essentially, lofts and condos are all being bought at the same rate. You don't see one being bought more so than the other. I think that when people come in, again, it's the sales team is working really closely with them to guide them into the right one. So
on a strict price per square foot basis, are they pretty comparably
Yeah, they are.
priced?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. It's really, again, and that I think reinforces the idea of, it's really about your lifestyle. more so than anything. So yeah.
Great.
When we were over there, you guys you've started delivering the lower levels of the lofts, moving up. When will the condo section start opening up, and when will
The condo section should start opening up here, and it's actually late May, early June is when we have those closings into the condos.
Okay.
So yeah, it's really exciting news. Yeah, things keep moving up.